address waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid. No changes to that.
I haven't seen the proposal. It's hard for me to comment on that proposal.
Are you a no on this House GOP plan?
All the plans so far that I've heard include $5 trillion in raising of the debt ceiling. I'm not for adding to the debt. I don't think it's very conservative to raise the debt ceiling. This will be an historic increase in the debt ceiling. This will be a more significant, a greater increase in the debt ceiling than we've ever seen in our country. And I think it'll be ironic and sad in a way that conservatives will be voting for the largest increase in the debt ceiling. And so I'm just not for that. If the debt ceiling were to get stripped out, I will consider, I'm for keeping the tax cuts permanent, and I am for reducing spending. I do fear that all the really large ticket items for reducing spending have sort of been excluded. So I have a feeling it's going to be wimpy on the spending cuts, and it's going to be maybe a little wimpy on the taxes too, because does it make them permanent or not make them permanent, the taxes?
Permanent. They said permanent.
I don't think it can make them all permanent, but anyway, I think that's worth looking into. But we have to look into that. I would like to see the tax cuts permanent and give certainty to business. I think they did help the economy. It's why Trump had a robust economy, is because of the tax cuts previously. But so if it were just the tax cuts without the debt ceiling, I'd consider it. But I have a feeling, see, here's the rub. People talk about 800 billion or 2 trillion, all these different numbers that are really big, that are hard to fathom. But when you add them up, the one thing you can measure pretty simply, that's one number, is what will the deficit be. This year, in end of September, when our fiscal year ends, it's going to be about 2.2 trillion. Despite all the Doge cuts, beside all that, they just don't seem to are going to budge the deficit. But then they want to borrow another 2.8 trillion after this year, so 5 trillion total. It makes you think, well, maybe really, the left is apoplectic. There's too much cutting. The right says there is cutting, and I'm here saying neither one of them is going to happen. They aren't going to cut any spending significantly because they've ruled everything out, the entitlements. And what's going to happen is you're going to have an increase of 5 trillion. You're going to have a $2 trillion deficit this year and a 2 trillion. And before you know it, you're at the end of 4 years, and you have $8 to $10 trillion added to the deficit. Or I don't know. And then it's demoralizing as a conservative who believes in smaller government and less spending that we're not getting it from either party.
What did you think of these Democrats that went to Newark the other day? There was this conflict with them and ICE, and did they step over a line?
I need to review the tapes on that. I haven't seen all of that. It sounds like it, but I don't know enough to really make a comment.
What's your thoughts on the Qatari gift of a plane to President Trump?
I'll have something